In this video, I am going to share my top 3 tips that I wish I'd known sooner when faced with challenges to make them less scary, hairy, and just over the top. Not quite as bad as what they originally seemed to be. For those new here, welcome. My name is Jade and this is day number 18 of the 100-day video challenge that I have set for myself in order to be more consistent in posting on YouTube and also more confident in front of the camera. As you can see, I'm doing not too bad at that one, so let's get straight into my top tips. Number 1 is awareness. And what I mean by awareness is when our brains decide to be super creative when presented with a challenge, when you get that instant news like the world is going to crumble apart and you don't know what to do. Definitely with ADHD brain, this is super common because we like to go to worst case scenario mode and nothing else from that sort of seems right. But coming back to awareness, when you're given the big news and then have that reaction that is worst case scenario, stopping for a second or allowing a bit of distance between receiving the news and digesting the news. Because what I've found is that when I get past the knee-jerk reaction basically to any sort of news that's usually bad, I now allow myself the time that it takes to step back and analyze what is actually going on and is it as bad as what my brain's trying to make it out to be. Most of the time it's not. And that time as well, it might be 20 minutes, it might even be up to 2 days to really digest some information, maybe even longer, that allows more perspective on what's going on, which also creates more calmness and also allows for more ideas about how the challenge can actually be tackled. Sometimes it seems very scary with what's going on. When I got into jousting, I definitely made it a worst case scenario sort of thing to even get on a horse. So for those who don't know the wonderful Parko Marisma, he was an absolute legend of a horse and he was the first one that I ever trained on, and he taught me that it's actually not as bad as what I'd made it up in my brain and allowed me to build the confidence over time with exposure to it. So I invite you, when you're presented with that feeling, to give yourself a little bit of time, if you can, to actually step back, to allow space and see the bigger picture sort of thing. Like when an artist needs to step back from an artwork because they're so focused on what's going on, it gives a bit more perspective. Number 2 is being able to learn whilst in the midst of challenge. So I'm going to relate this to my jousting journey. The challenge that I faced definitely pushed me to my limits of what I thought that my body could physically do, and turned out that I could actually do way more than what my brain was allowing me to believe. And it wasn't actually until I was in the midst of the challenge did that happen. In saying that, when in the midst of challenge, we have to really talk to ourselves through a sort of situation. So one of my big go-tos when I'm faced with a challenge that I am really terrified about, my internal dialogue switches to, I can do this. And I'll say it again and again until my body follows through with it. Also in the midst of challenge is being able to maybe not be alone as well. Maybe there is help around you with this particular challenge that you're facing, where others can actually see something that you can't. So having a conversation may also help find a solution to what you need. And number 3, having a debrief after a challenge has happened. So the event has happened, the challenge has been faced, the dragon has been slain, or maybe not slain, maybe taken home as a pet because it wasn't that big and scary. But being able to have a conversation with yourself or with your team or whoever else may have been involved about what worked, what didn't work, and what you or the team could do in future is a really great way to progress forward a bit faster, because a lot of our major learning actually happens through mistakes. And mistakes are a big part of life as well. So if the challenge has happened from that, let's learn a bit faster and get through it and get on to the next thing, because there will be more challenges. Life is filled with ups and down moments. So if we got really good with handling challenges, how would that look in future that you're not that worried about when things happen? What if that's actually a reality that could exist? Just putting it out there. And for all those people out there who may be facing a challenge right now of your own, please know that I 100% believe in you, because sometimes even some random on the internet can make a big difference in our lives. Just by saying, I see you, it is hard, and I believe that you can get through to the other side. In one of my previous videos, I did say one of my favorite sayings, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll probably say it again in future. This too shall pass. It may pass like a gallstone, but it shall pass. Thank you so much for hanging out in this video with me. If you've found any value in it, please hit the subscribe button. If you've got any friends who would find value in this video too, please feel free to share. Let's help as many people as we can, all out on the interwebs. And I will see you in the next video. I'm wishing you a very magical day.